I realized something horrific. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Just another struggling writer. The beleaguered author's one-stop shop for commiseration and hopefully inspiration. My name is Carrie Scher, and I am just another struggling writer. Well, today is actually part 2 of my little experiment to see whether or not writing 10,000 words a week is a sustainable writing schedule for me. Earlier this week, I was able to maintain 1,000 words per day, which was my goal on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. However, today I am starting a little behind the 8 ball because yesterday, Thursday, I did not write at all. It was just one of those long, mentally taxing days. I had a very large meeting at work in the afternoon, and then my child had a theater performance in the evening, and it was a very long day for us. We weren't sitting down to eat dinner until like 9 o'clock at night. When it was all said and done, I just knew that I didn't have the energy to write, but that's okay. If I get 9,000 words this week, I'm still okay with that. So I'm not stressing about what happened yesterday. Today is now Friday. My goal, of course, is to do 1,000 words today, and then 2,500 words tomorrow and Sunday. And if I can make up the 1,000 words I missed yesterday, that would be a bonus, but I'm not forcing myself to do that. The good news is that I've actually already written today. I have already gotten 975 words. And even better is that while this scene has kind of taken a different direction than I anticipated, I'm getting a lot of really good information out of it. I'm developing another aspect of my character's magic, and in so doing, I'm developing a theme that I didn't realize I was going for, but now that I think about it, it's always been there, just more subtly, and now that I know that it's there, I can kind of coax it out more and develop it. So I'm really pleased about that. And the way this scene developed also made me realize that one of the big reveals I was going to drop doesn't really make sense at this moment in the story. And it's not even really necessary for this book. It could be saved for a later book and just hinted at in later scenes. So that all went really, really well. And I'm really pleased with how this scene rounded out. And I was feeling like I was ahead of the game because it ended up being way longer than I expected. So it forced me to add a chapter, which in this case is good because I added so many chapters ahead before the midpoint. I needed to add some after the midpoint to kind of balance it all out. The bad news is, as I was mulling over the next scene and the next couple of scenes, I realized something horrific. And that is a major plot beat that I have coming up no longer makes any sense based on the character, like the reveals that have come up and the character motivations and just where the story is at. And this is a major darling. Major darling. It has been part of this story since its original conception. This moment it was the original midpoint. So it is a very integral part of my original vision. And I don't know what I'm going to do. I have a couple of choices. I can just write it anyway and address the dissonance that it creates in revision. I can try and brainstorm some ideas to kind of bring it back into the fold and make it make sense. Or I can cut it because it is at this point cuttable. The downside of that, apart from losing a major baby, is it shortens the second half of the book again. All that progress I made trying to fatten it up to account for the really fat first half, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose it's at least, let's see, it's like a chapter and a half, at least a whole chapter. So between 2,500 and 4,000 words, which again is a problem because all of this time since the very beginning, even in the outlining phase, the second half of this book has been too thin. And if I take out this major plot point, I don't know how I'm going to make up that ground. I feel less married to it now than I did even yesterday because of everything I accomplished in today's writing session, which is huge. We're talking about a major, major scene, a huge reveal, a big gut punch moment for the character that also kind of colors scenes that come afterwards. And I've come to realize that I don't need it. Like, it doesn't need it. So I have to kind of find it within myself. Do I need it? Do I want it? Does it still serve a purpose? And if it doesn't, how am I going to make the latter half of this book narratively weighty and important by cutting out this big scene? And what is the ripple effect of removing that chapter going to be and that plot point? I'm scared. I don't know what I'm going to do. So it is now 11 o'clock at night. I think what I'm going to do now is get in bed, because I do tend to generate my best ideas in the liminal space right before I fall asleep, and just hope that a eureka moment comes to me before I have to start writing tomorrow. I could move forward with this next scene tomorrow and still be like, okay, like I've got a little bit of time, but not that much. Compounding all this is tomorrow's actually a super busy day for me. All 3 of my kids have competitions tomorrow. Really glad that they scheduled all of it that way. And so it's going to be a real long day for me. I have to get up. The first event starts at 9 o'clock. So we have to get up and do all that and be out the door by 8:30. So it's going to be a long day tomorrow. So I've got all of that going on. Plus, I have a major project due on Sunday and I haven't even started it. I did open it and take a look at the requirements. I mean, I had before, but I just refamiliarized myself with it. And I don't think it's as scary as I thought it was, but I would like to finish at least like 2/3 of it tomorrow so that I don't have to worry about the majority of it on Sunday. And sometime between now and Sunday, I also have to finish a book. I've got about 300 pages left of a book that I need to finish because I have a vlog due on Monday. So I've got lots of kid activities. I've got a book I need to finish reading. I've got a project I need to finish. That I anticipate the project taking me probably 3 to 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, between 3 and 5 hours. And I've got to write 5,000 words between now and Sunday, which wouldn't be as scary if I knew what I was going to be doing with those 5,000 words. And now I feel like I don't. Is this how pantsers feel all the time, where you just don't know what's going to happen? This is stressing me out so much. I cannot believe this scene this plot beat has become irrelevant. Like I said, I'm going to get in bed and try and brainstorm before I pass out and hope that something genius comes to me. I'm scared. I'll check in with you guys tomorrow and let you know if I manage to come up with a solution. Hey everyone, it is now Saturday evening and I have some great news. Last night after I went to bed, I pretty much immediately came up with the solution to my problem. Which just goes to show you that weird liminal space between sleep and consciousness is fertile ground for creativity and ideas. Yeah, so I know exactly what I need to do. The great thing about it is that I don't need to cut the scene or even the plot point. I haven't decided if like the major reveal, I'm trying to be vague to avoid spoilers, but there's a major reveal that the whole point of this like moment in the plot was to reveal a major thing to the main character about her magic. And just the way that things have shaken out, some of the other information that has been revealed and some unplanned for ideas that have just cropped up and like made their way into the draft, I don't necessarily know that reveal is even necessary. It has just come in dribs and drabs and pieces in other ways. And so I don't know that is even necessary. I still may include it. I haven't decided. I think I'll decide when I get there. But what I'm doing is I'm repurposing the scene for a subplot that I've been having trouble like integrating well. Stop. Why are you just circling around? Find something to do. So that'll help with that like subplot and make that feel a little bit more integral to the story, so that when I go back in revisions, I'll have like an anchor point. Really excited about that. And that means I'm not losing the word count. So I'm pretty excited. And so it's just after 7 o'clock. I have had a full day. Like I said, I had all the stuff with my kids today. I took a pretty lengthy nap. I've got about 40% done of my project. I still would like to get to like 60 or 70% done before I stop working on it for the day. But the other thing is the book I was supposed to read, I decided to DNF. I did try and get a little bit more through it and just decided it wasn't working. So that's cleared up a lot of space in my schedule for today and tomorrow. So I am going to sit down and do a writing session right now, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, just to see how much I can get through. And then I will take a break, do some more of my homework, and then do some writing again. So I will just check in with you periodically and just let you know how I'm doing. But I wanted to let you guys know that all is not lost. We have fixed the problem. PSA, if you're having problems, lay down, close your eyes, and be like, deprive yourself of all other sensory input and distractions, and just really sink in to whatever creative block or whatever issue you're having with your draft. I know this isn't like a revolutionary, thing, but it was hilarious how fast the answer came to me. It was like probably within 15 minutes of laying down, and I'm someone who has insomnia. It takes me at least an hour to go to sleep, and so I was anticipating the problem taking up all of that hour and then keeping me awake at night, and it was just like, oh, easy. This is what I'll do. Perfect. And then the problem was like repeating the details over and over and over in my head so that I wouldn't forget them when I got up. Anyway, so I'm pretty excited that it just reinvigorated me and like washed away all that dread I was feeling about moving into this next section, and now I'm actually really looking forward to it. So like I said, I'm gonna get started with writing, and I'll check in with you in a little bit. So handsome. Well, y'all, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that I got 2/3 of my paper done, which was my goal for the day, to get 2/3 of it done, the majority of it, so that I don't have to worry about as much of it tomorrow. The bad news is that actually took up so much mental energy that it didn't leave me much to work with for writing. The scene that I entered into at the beginning of the writing session, I ended up a little bit blocked on. I just wasn't sure how to turn it into a bridge into the next sequence, and I really struggled with that. I don't know if it's because I'm so mentally worn out or if it was just the scene is bad. Probably a mixture of both, to be honest with you. But I just had trouble getting past it, and so I really stalled out after about like 600 words. It is now 11 o'clock. I think I checked in with you last at 7:15, and I netted 1,089 words. Am I mad at that though? Not really. I got words done. I wrote 1,000 words, which has been the pace that I've set for myself kind of all week. Today was crazy with the stuff with my kids going on, and then having all this other stuff to do. That contributed to not having as much energy as I would like to write. Tomorrow, I'm setting myself a goal that everything I do tomorrow needs to fall into one of 4 categories. I either need to be cleaning my house, writing, doing my homework, or editing a video. I would say content creation, but that's so broad. But like specifically, I need to edit a video to get that ready to go. But if I look down and I'm scrolling on my phone, or I'm reading a book or doing something that I shouldn't be doing, I'm going to try and refocus myself so that I'm doing something that falls into one of those 4 categories. Obviously, finishing the paper is priority 1. But like I said, I've set myself up to knock that out hopefully pretty early in the day, and then getting a bunch of writing done. This weekend was supposed to be a big major writing weekend, but halfway through the weekend, I almost wonder if it's not a blessing in disguise, because the last couple of large writing weekends that I had ended up resulting in some burnout. So maybe this is just what it is. Maybe the 5,000 word weekends are not the answer. Maybe it is just a flat 1,000 words a day. Maybe so. I'm not ready to call this experiment a failure yet because of the way that my brain works and setting higher goals, meaning that I'm pushing myself harder and prioritizing it more. I almost think that I should just leave this schedule in place, these expectations in place, because even if I don't meet them, I'm, again, pushing myself harder than I would otherwise. I don't know. We are only 6 days into what I hoped would be a multi-week experiment. So for now, I am going to go get in bed and rest my noggin. And like I said, get up in the morning, finish my paper, get that all turned in. I've done all my homework for my other class already. I got that done early in the week in anticipation of this paper. Look at me. Look at my big brain. Knock that out early, get that video edited early, and then the rest of my day can be just getting my house squared away and writing. So I will see you in the morning. Hey y'all, welcome to my living room. You guys are gonna be proud of me because it is not quite 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I have done a bunch of shit. I cleaned my living room. I washed dried and folded a whole basket of laundry, and I've got some more going right now. And I finished my project that was due. So I am way ahead of the game here. I'm about to stop to pause productivity to make some lunch, and then my goal is to dive back into writing. Yesterday, I did not hit my 2,500 words, but just got over 1,000. But with how productive I've been today, I do think I can hit 2,500, so I am going to shoot for that again. I am going to be interspersing the writing with more cleanup, and I have to edit a video at some point, so there'll be some of that. But the point is my plan is to stay here on the couch for the next several hours and focus on getting my writing done. I've also got to paint my nails. I've got this new color that I'm really excited about. It is I Am What I Amethyst. Gonna do that and just get started for the new week. So let's not yap too much longer and just get straight into the writing. Hello everyone, it is now Sunday evening and it is time to wrap up this vlog. So unfortunately, after I last spoke to you, I didn't quite get the writing done that I hoped I would. After I ate my lunch, I started feeling migraine-y, and with the food and everything, I was like, oh, I should just take a nap to knock out the headache and the food coma that I was experiencing. I laid down, and what woke me up from the nap was a gallbladder attack. I sometimes have gallstones, really only get these attacks like once every 9 months, and they're pretty intense but short-lived. So I was woken up from my nap feeling uncomfortable, and then I sat down on my couch and just sort of waited for everything to dissipate. And so while I was waiting for the last effects of that to go away, I started painting my nails, which you saw. And then the kids got home, and then I made dinner, and what ended up happening is writing just happened in the creases of the rest of the day instead of like a focused writing session. All that to say, I did not get my 2,500 words today either. But I did get my biggest word count of the week at 1,392, which brings my week total to 6,583. So about 3,500 short of my 10,000 word total. I'm not too upsetty spaghetti about it. I am going to take that and build off of it, especially since this is like my first week back writing most days. I did skip Thursday. And the big news is that I crossed over 60,000 words. I am actually just over 61,000 at 61,027. So just over that 61,000 word mark, which means I have just over 40,000 more words to complete. I am in the home stretch. I am at like the 60% mark, which is when I'm reading books, I feel like the plot really starts to unravel very, very quickly and just move like a freight train. So I'm hoping that the experience is the same in writing as well. I think I mentioned in the last vlog, or maybe at the beginning of this one, that this is like the longest draft, or will be the longest draft that I've ever completed. I think my previous first draft that I finished like 6 years ago, was between 60 and 70,000. So sometime over the course of this next week or so, I will officially cross over that 70,000 and be in the longest draft I've ever written. And that's kind of a big deal for me. So I'm pretty pleased and proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for the way I worked through that writer's block and that fear of losing an important scene, and came up with a new idea to save it and add context to the story and further a subplot. And I'm proud that even though I didn't get the 10,000 words I wanted this week, I did write 1,000 words every single day except one, and there were mitigating circumstances that one day. And to that point, I've learned some things about what I am capable of and what I would like to try going forward, which I will talk about in the next vlog. I've got some great ideas on how to motivate myself. I am still aiming for a March 31st deadline to have this draft completely done, and I think that I can get there. It's just going to take a little bit of extra determination and elbow grease. With that, thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate it. If you like my content and want to support the channel, please like and subscribe or consider leaving a comment down below. As I said, I will be starting a new vlog tomorrow wherein I'm going to talk a little bit about my plans to motivate myself and my goals for the entire month of March. Obviously, the big one is finishing the draft, but what does that entail? We'll talk about it in the next vlog. I hope you look forward to it, and I will see you then. Bye.